everybody, this is Nettie, and thank you for watching this video. This is first in a series of video clips that I'm going to make to kind of outline some of the changes that I've made in my kitchen to make it supportive to my health and wellness goals. And today's video is going to focus on just a couple of staples that I always keep in my freezer. In the study of change, neuro-linguistic programming identifies for us what they call 5 stages or levels of change. And what these basically are environment, behaviors, actions, skill sets, even ways of thinking. These are places that we go through where we make adaptations in those areas to help us to go from where we are to where we want to be. Well, one of the first levels of change, or a foundational change that you can make to support all of the other steps to get you to where you want to be, is to change your environment. When it comes to healthy eating, the bottom line of it is if we don't have healthy foods around, we won't eat healthy foods. And flip side is if we have things that are challenges for us, things that we know are not going to help us towards our goal, if we're surrounded by that, guess what we're going to go to? So one of the first things that we can do is to take out things that you know just are not going to be healthy for you or helpful for you. Just don't have them in the house. You can't eat things that are not there. With that said, you want to then go on ahead and stock things that just make your change easy for you. And I'm going to show you 5 things, staples, that are always in my freezer. And hopefully I can get these out without dropping everything on the floor. So. Here we go. To start, one of the first things that I always have in my freezer in abundance is a pretty large variety of frozen vegetables. I try to get them in a variety of colors and mixes and things like that, and keep them on hand so that I can always have them available for a side dish to throw inside a rice or a soup or a stew to kind of give it extra nutrition. And I also do use them as bases. Every once in a while, I try to have a all-vegetable just day, where all I do is eat fruits and vegetables. And so having these on hand is really helpful. One of the things that I really like to encourage people to consider with frozen vegetables is that they're very healthy for you. There have been studies that show that when we buy fresh vegetables from a supermarket or a grocery chain, they usually have lost about 45% of their nutrients before they hit our plate. The reason why is because as soon as a vegetable is picked, it starts to go into a ripening and actually decay, a decline, where the nutrients are starting to come out of the vegetables over time. When they're frozen, they're harvested and very quickly processed, locking in the nutrients. Comparing that to the fresh vegetables that we buy in the grocery store, they're harvested and then they go through a distribution chain to get them to the store. And then we get them home and we probably don't eat them that day and they sit in our refrigerator for a while. So as days and days and time passes, nutrients come out. So please take advantage of the frozen vegetables. They're very convenient. They will in general have more nutrients than grocery store or market store bought fresh vegetables. And also they're going to be more cost effective. One thing to also keep in mind with your frozen vegetables, once you get these great vegetables in, let's kind of keep them healthy. You don't have to always have cheese sauce, butter sauce, bacon dripping, ham hocks, or cook them until they're like mush. I think that some of these things, if not all of that, is probably in our background, particularly if you're a person that's used to good southern home cooking, but it's not always very healthy for you. Keep them close to the original taste and flavors. Enjoy those flavors that God gave them for us, and make sure that your preparation methods support that. So, frozen vegetables, great for you and always in my freezer. The next thing that I always have in my freezer is going to be some containers of different types of frozen fruits. And this is pretty much for the same reasons. They're very healthy for you. They're full of nutrients, all kinds of antioxidants, and having them readily available makes me use them or helps me to use them. One that I always have is some frozen bananas. I just love what a frozen banana will do inside a smoothie. About 5 days a week, I throw one of these into my protein nutrition shake, my Shakeology, and a frozen banana just creams it up and adds that wonderful sweetness. I adore these. You can throw them on top of oatmeal or on top of some cereal. And also with a frozen banana, if you just whip it up really good, it's almost like ice cream. It gets a nice consistency, and if you want to thin it out, throw in a little bit of vanilla soy milk and whip it up. A wonderful addition for a snack and add on to a breakfast, or even just a standalone item if you're just snacking really quickly. So having some frozen vegetables, frozen fruit. The third thing I always have in my freezer is going to be some nuts. When you think of nuts, a lot of times don't think that has a place in a healthy kitchen, but in moderation, nuts are very good for you. They are satisfying, and they also have healthy oils that your body does need. So having some nuts available, I always have almonds, walnuts, and pecans usually in my freezer, and you can just take them out. They'll thaw in literally seconds. Or you can put them in a saucepan, a dry saucepan on top of your stove and just toast them up. As the oils start to release and you get that fragrance, it adds a whole different level to the flavor structure, and they're wonderful. Throw them in salads or mix them with some couscous and some fresh fruit and make a nice couscous salad. Sprinkle them on top of oatmeal. There are a lot of great things that you can do with them, or again, they're fantastic as a standalone snack. A couple of almonds really will hold me very well in the middle of the day when I just want a little bit of something on my stomach. The third thing that I always have in my freezer is going to be some brown rice. Brown rice, I live in Louisiana, and we just eat a lot of rice down here in general, so I cook up a pot of rice usually on Sunday, and we'll use it throughout the week from everything from putting it under some red beans or inside some gumbo. Sometimes I'll throw it in a regular like vegetable soup to give it a little bit extra substance. I use it instead of breadcrumbs if I'm making Salisbury steak or meatloaf. So there are a lot of different uses that I have for it. Brown rice is going to be better for you than white rice. First of all, if there are diabetics in your family, it is a slow-release sugar, more so than the white rice, so it's going to be better in stabilizing the sugar levels. But you get better bang with your brown rice because the hull and the bran on the rice has been maintained. When they process rice to make white rice, they remove that. They take off the hull and the bran, and what it's going to do is make the rice more shelf-stable. It also makes it cook faster, but it's not as good for your body because when that hull and the bran goes away, so do a lot of the nutrients. You're losing fiber, manganese, potassium. A lot of the minerals that make it so good for you are also just taken away in the processing. So please do keep some brown rice in your kitchen and consider taking it away from using that instead of the white rice. It has a wonderful nutty flavor that once your family gets used to, I think they will really enjoy. One other thing that I want to say is, like, people are probably saying, why is she keeping rice and nuts in the freezer? Well, because these are not processed, this is not processed, I'm using whole, non-roasted, just nice raw nuts. They have natural oils in them, okay? And so they haven't been altered to make them more shelf-stable. So they can tend, if you don't eat them, in a reasonable amount of time, to go rancid. So just maintaining them in the freezer is going to keep them for you a little bit longer. So it's good to store them there. So I have vegetables, fruit, nuts, brown rice, and then the last thing that I always have in my freezer is going to be a really great protein source in the form of fish or seafood. Seafood is just, I love fish. I don't think I've met a fish that I do not like, and I made a commitment a while back to try to have fish in my weekly eating plan at least 2 times a week. And it's interesting, I just today actually read a study that says that by having a seafood product 2 times a week in your diet every week, it can reduce your risk for heart disease by 30%. And I have a heart condition, and there is a history of cardiac-related deaths in my family tree. So when I read that, I was like, thank you, God, for that confirmation about that change that I've been making. The 2 types of fish that I always have in my freezer is, first of all, is going to be the very mild flavored light tilapia. I really do like this, first of all, because it's cost effective, it's readily available, and third, it has such a light flavor that it will really just take on whatever kinds of seasonings and preparation you put on it, and it's like a chameleon. So I really do love it, and because it is light, my kids will eat it. Some fish is a little bit too fishy for them as I'm trying to help develop their palate. The second one that I always have is going to be the more robust flavored salmon. Oh my goodness, this is wonderful with omega-3s. It's a very heart-healthy fish, and it just tastes fantastic. So I always keep these in. I buy them in these packages where they come individually frozen in these cryovac packages, and it's so convenient because if you put this in some lukewarm water, it'll thaw out for you in literally 3 to 5 minutes, and then you can go into the oven or on the grill, and you're good to go. So, frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, brown rice, nuts, and fish. These are 5 of the things that I put into my freezer all the time that really help me and support me in making good choices to do what's good for my body. I'd love to hear what's in your freezer that really does help work for you, so please do share it in the comments section. And also, if you find these videos helpful, please do like, please do share, and please do subscribe. I'd really love to hear from you. And as always, in all things, let us please remember that apart from God, we can do absolutely nothing. So let us glorify Him in all that we do. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day.